All right, I literally have 5 minutes. So if you have 5 minutes, I want to ask you an important question. Do you feel worthy of love? And the answer that comes in is probably pretty immediate. It's probably like right there. Do I feel worthy of love? For me, after my divorce, I didn't feel worthy of love. And really, when I look back, I didn't feel worthy of love before I even got married. My fascination with my now ex-husband, who was drop-dead gorgeous, funny, smart, athletic, built like a brick. Yeah, gorgeous. I always felt like I married up. I felt like, how did he love me? And I felt so validated of being worthy of being loved because he chose me. And so when the betrayals happened and he was dating other women and lying to me and abusing my financial freedom that I was offering him, I was devastated. I felt used. And it absolutely confirmed that I was never worthy of love. At least that's how it felt. And for the next 10 years, I fell so hard. Like I fell. I was out there desperately looking for someone to love me, to prove to me that I was worthy of love. And I dated, and I became this, I'm going to be honest with you, this hypersexual human being. Because I thought that would lead to someone loving me. And I allowed whatever they wanted, their agenda, to dictate the entire relationship. Like I was a chameleon and I shape-shifted to fit what I thought they needed so they didn't leave. And you know what happened? They always left. And it hurt. God, it hurt. There were days I went to bed for days. I drank so I wouldn't remember. I wouldn't remember the feeling, so I would get numb. And when I woke up, I remembered. And I started to realize all I am doing is pushing off the pain. And so instead of pushing it off, I chose to dive in. I went to therapy. I took classes. I read books. And I kept working. But really what I kept doing was I kept journaling to God. I kept pulling out my notebook and writing 2 words, Dear God. My God, why have you forsaken me? Why am I being punished? What did I do that was so horrible that I deserve this feeling? And on the pages of my journal, I started to tap into a resource that was the most beautiful blessing, because I started to see that out of all of these dating relationships, they were all failing, and there was one common denominator, and that common denominator was me. So that can be really painful because you can blame yourself, or you can see that you are the source of the suffering. And I started through asking for help from a higher power. You can call it universe, you can call it source, you can call it goddess. I call it God. I call it the Holy Trinity of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. I called on them and I asked for help. And do you know what? Help showed up. And I started to see that the answer was me. And I started to see that I was choosing to sell out on myself because I didn't feel worthy of love. And no one was making me do that. Was it easy? Hell no. Looking in the mirror at yourself is hard. It takes courage. It takes courage to be that vulnerable, because there's not a single iota of courage that does not have an absolutely equal amount of vulnerability attached to it. The reason we appreciate courage is because it takes vulnerability, because it might not work or it might be painful, but we don't celebrate vulnerability. We celebrate courage. They're the same thing. So if you are here and you know that there is something bigger and better, but you don't know how to access, you are in the perfect place. Follow this account. I am starting to share authentically about the stuff I messed up and what I discovered. It is very simple. You are worthy of love. You've always been worthy of all the love in the universe. Yes, you and life and imperfect human beings had an impact on you, and you, with your defensive bias where you're looking to survive, chose to accept their point of view. That is the design of this insane place called our world. It's designed so you forget, because once you remember, the forgetting is the pathway to the gift of remembering that you are worthy of love. The trick is you have to ask. You have to ask. Ask for help. I love the practice of journaling. Follow this account. I'm going to keep sharing. I'm going to keep sharing how to journal. It really is as simple as sitting down, taking a deep breath, addressing it to someone, even if it's just to yourself or your heart, and ask for help. Because if you don't ask for help, they can't help you because you have free will. You are worthy of love. You are able to connect to your God source. You don't need me to do it. You can do it all by yourself. That's the amazing thing about this. That's the amazing thing about this. You can do it all by yourself. I don't recommend always doing it by yourself, but you can. You can ask for help and ask for it to come for the good of all and the harm of none, because that is how you know it is from the light. You can do this. You can find your worthiness of love because you already are it, and you've never been anything else. You just forgot. You forgot. And if you don't hear this for the rest of the day, please feel this right now. I love you. I love you. I love you so much. You can do this. We can do this together.